Good afternoon, everybody. And I'd like to welcome you to the Optimizing Dealership Performance webinar today. This is the second installment. And today we're going to be talking about the service management webinar. So before we get started, I want to direct your attention to the top right corner of your webinar screen. You will see a Q&A field where you can ask questions throughout this webinar. We'll do our best to answer them either live or by response. But don't worry if you're not getting responded to. There is a report that is generated at the end that I can handle and get back to you guys throughout the day here with some answers if you have any questions. The webinar today is going to cover 5 topics. The first topic is going to be a quick review again of the Knowledge Center, similar to what we did in the first webinar. Second one we're going to talk about here is month-end cleanup. Then we're going to talk about the interaction between sales and the service department, followed by some menu selling with job codes. And finally, we're going to talk about a couple new features that are available in DealerVu, the e-signature pad, the attachments and pictures on a job code. So let me introduce the team. My name is Daniel Lamontagne. I'll be the host and also be walking you through most of this webinar. I have Mike Gingras with me as well, who is going to talk to us about the e-signature pad and walk us through a little bit of that demo. And then finally, I have Joanne here that has some good tips about the warranty process when it comes to month end, or just warranty tips in general. So we're going to keep those. We're going to keep her around for those. So let's start here with the Knowledge Center, and let's run through a quick demo of the actual system. So there's 2 ways to get into the Knowledge Center from DealerVu. First, on any of the screens, you have the help function. And if you click on it, you'll see the Knowledge Center is usually the one on the bottom. You can click on that, or you can also hit the F1 key anywhere in DealerVu. And what that'll do, it'll bring you into a screen that looks similar to this. This is a login screen. We often get cases asking us, how do I get into the Knowledge Center? Well, first thing is you need to create an account. In order to do so, you see down here it says sign up. It's a simple process that asks you for your name, your email, and you create a password, and then you can actually access over 900 of our documents very easily. If you do have an account, you can go ahead and sign in and click the sign in button. Now to navigate this screen, we have a search bar on the top where you can actually enter in your codes. I highly recommend keeping your codes, your search parameters a little bit more loose, a little bit more shorter, so that way you get optimum amount of documents. But we also spent some time categorizing these all of our documents to make sure that you can do a broad search based on some categories. The one I'd like to bring your attention to is obviously the announcements. This is where we post stuff about our last versions. Anything new about DealerVu comes in here. So we have a new features list, and we have build notes and stuff like that. So that way you're always aware. We always try to keep you aware of the new builds and new features and new bug fixes and stuff like that via the announcement. We also have some Harley-Davidson communications there for the ones who are available to see it. The other feature I'd like to talk about on the Knowledge Center is the submit request. Using the submit a request feature, it has 2 major advantages. One is that it doesn't need an email protocol to get into from your email to our service or our support queue. It goes directly here. So typically we find that these cases come in faster. So it's much easier, much quicker to use this than to use a traditional email. The second one is when you're starting to type in a subject, the Knowledge Center is going to automatically suggest some articles for you. So it might even prevent you from having to even submit a case. So the idea behind that is to give you as many things as possible that relate to your subject. If not, you can go ahead and add in your paragraphs. There's bullet points. You can do everything you need here. And you can also add in files if necessary. If you want to follow up on requests, either historical or stuff that's active, you can do so easily by clicking on on your user account and clicking on request. When you click on request, you're going to see all the historical cases that are tied to your account, to your email. At any given time, too, you can do a deep dive by clicking on the actual account, and that'll bring up the information about about your ticket. That would sum up essentially the view. You can also click on the DealerVu logo to bring you back to the home screen if need be. One final thing I like to show as well is that now we have a new category here for the DealerVu webinars. This is where we're going to keep the link for the webinars and also a document with all the supporting document links to the stuff we talk about throughout the series here. So make sure you keep a close eye on that one. Okay. So that's the Knowledge Center. Now we're going to move on to some of the suggested month-end tasks that we have. Most of the month-end task suggestions we have all revolve around managing your invoices. So if we don't manage our invoices, we're not really getting a clear picture of what our service department is, how it's working, our performance on a service department. Other things that happen too when we don't manage our invoices, we have some wrong inventory valuations. We also have unbalanced labor, and I'll get into that in a little bit with a quick demo. So the opportunities here are huge. So doing a monthly checkup of all your invoices in every single status is very important. So starting with your appointments, making sure your appointments have either schedules or if there should be quotes, moving them to quotes. If you have a quote, you look at all the old quotes, make sure you clean up your old quotes that are not relevant anymore. Keeping that away could make it easier to manage and search for historical information. Next one would be looking at your wait for parts, right? We talked about last time, your back orders. So making sure that you're looking at your wait for parts in a similar way and following that process that we talked about. Or anything that was ordered and the parts are in, making sure they're scheduled. If there's something incomplete or seek approval, you can always review those and make sure that there's a touch point. There's a note in the thing saying there's a customer touch point or a vendor touch point on the items to make sure that they're progressing. Similar with completed, anything completed status, making sure there's at least a touch point, even a minimum of a touch point a week, if not a touch point a day for the completed ones to make sure that the customers are coming to pick it up. Because the idea is that anything in a completed status does not touch your accounting. So we need to make sure that as many invoices throughout the month are put into either charge on account or paid status. That way the accounting is done properly. Not only that, it makes it easier for you and it makes it easier as a user experience, but it provides a better customer experience as well for them. So I want to talk quickly a demo here about unbalanced labor. We're getting a lot of calls about unbalanced labor, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys as a way to so you understand how to address it, how to find it first of all in DealerVu and how to address it. So I'm going to knock into DealerVu here, and I'm going to go into service sales and management and service orders. So on a regular basis, we're doing minimum monthly here, but obviously if it's anything, it can be anything over. It can be even more often if you'd like. But there is a unbalanced service order time only. So when we're talking unbalanced service orders, this is when a technician has clocked on to either a job level or a service order level instead of clocking on to a labor line. So what this does, the major impact that has, it doesn't assign the cost to the right labor line, and it also plays with your efficiencies. So the idea is to make sure that these things align so that way you get proper calculations and proper productivity numbers from your techs. So I'm going to go ahead here and click unbalanced service time only and hit refresh. What's going to appear is all the ones that have these. So doing this on a regular basis, makes the load a little bit less. Now to fix it is pretty straightforward. So if I were to open a service order here, and I were to go to the job clocking. Under job clocking, you're going to see unassigned clocked hours. So this is the case, right? The case is here, this person here has clocked onto job one, but not onto the labor line. Maybe at the time there wasn't a labor line. That happens as well. So if there is no labor line, we would go ahead and add the labor line at this time before we can transfer the hours. Otherwise, at this moment, we would right click and we can hit edit time, and we can assign it either to a new job or even to a labor item. So that way, the time it will now calculate your efficiencies properly and everything like that. So that's the idea behind that. While we're in here, I want to talk about a couple other things. One is when you're doing your month end, this is probably something you've learned, but I want to make sure that we review it quick, is looking at one of these, the profitability reports. Right, as our transactions, we have a profitability summary. So if I were to look at this, looking at this periodically, I would even say even more often than monthly, but looking at this periodically is a quick way for a service manager to see if there's problems with service orders, right? Especially in the profitability side. So if you're looking here, here's a great example. Mr. Daffy Duck has 100% profit on labor. Why? That cannot happen. So it gives you a it gives you a quick list of problematic invoices that you can actually go look into, and maybe the labor time wasn't added or the tech forgot to clock in. So you can go ahead and add time to the labor lines as you see fit when it comes to these things. So you can. This is a really cool report to use for that. Another thing I want to talk about too is something that is that might not be used as much, but I want to review it quick because it's a very powerful tool in DealerVu when it comes to helping guide the workflow of a service order, and it comes in through the scheduler, right? So you guys are using the scheduler where you're adding technicians and assigning techs to schedulers, or you're adding appointments. Sorry, you're adding appointments, and then you're assigning them to technicians and that. But the hot appointment field is a great way for it's a call to action for your advisors. So when you're seeing stuff in hot appointment, it means that it needs to be addressed. So when you're seeing unassigned appointments, that either means one of two things. It means that there's no tech assigned to the appointment, or there's no service order assigned to the appointment. So on a given periodically throughout a day, it's worth looking at these and making sure that the tech is assigned, or the appointment is or the appointment has a service order related to it, especially closer to the days when the customer is coming in. The second one is incomplete. The incomplete are service schedulers where the tech is still clocked into the service order, but the time has lapsed. So an example of that is you set an appointment scheduler for an hour. Well, the tech's still on it after an hour. So now it's another call to action. Hey, I need to do something with this. So you'd open the schedule and you can add more time and shuffle your other appointments to make it work. Because otherwise there might be an appointment that falls through the cracks because the tech has been working. So it's really to keep an eye on how to manage those appointments. And finally, the other tab here is billing. The billing tab is, again, it's a tab very similar to the completed status, but it's a call to action to let you know, hey, the service order is done. The tech put it to completed status, and now it's up to you to make sure, as an advisor, make sure that the customer is connected with via either text or via phone call that their unit is in. So it's a quick call to action. So looking at this periodically will certainly help you guys drive the flow, the workflow of your techs and your business to more efficiencies, higher efficiencies. Okay, so we talked about balancing labor. Now, I'm going to hand it off here to Joanne. Joanne has a couple tips and tricks that are going to help you with the warranty administration part of it. So go ahead, Joanne.
Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you for joining us to this presentation today. So, the warranty claim invoice created by DealerVu is attached to a service order. When the warranty claim has been created, DealerVu provide a number to the invoice, to the warranty claim. That number should never be changed. It should be left the same because it's linked to the service order that is created in DealerVu. So when you create a warranty claim, if you get a manufacturer approval number, it should be entered in the note space at the bottom of the warranty claim. Also, when you create a warranty claim, if there's a deductible involved in the warranty claim, the deductible should be created on the first on the service order. If it's created properly on the service order, it will carry over when you will create the warranty claim. Okay. Then when processing a warranty claim, the status of the invoice, of the service invoice, should be put at completed. You don't want to put the service order status at paid until the warranty claims get paid. The reason being is if you put a warranty claim, you submit it, and it come back to you as denied, it will not be covered by the warranty company. So that means if the service order is still at a status complete, when you're going to choose the option denied, the parts will be charged back to the customer on the service order, that will allow you to contact the customer and say, listen, I'm sorry, you owe us the money because the warranty was denied. Or as your option, you charge it on the customer account and you absorb the cost yourself. Okay, so it's very important that doing it this way, it's when it's denied, if the service order is at paid, you cannot reverse it. It's going to be paid, you're going to put denied, and then it's just going to go and charge the dealership as an expense account. Okay. The last thing that I would like to mention is when you create a service order, when a service order is created from a unit deal, okay, under the proposed option, they will create a service order. You should not add any other thing that the proposed option. If some dealers go and add a warranty claim on that service order and adds PDI or other things, that service order is really for the proposed option, and many times it creates some issue because the warranty claim has not been submitted. The warranty claim, we're waiting for it, and they cannot close the service order attached to the deal. So it would be a good habit to just create a different service order for warranty claim and other needs that needs to be done on a unit sale. And after this, it's going back to you, Dan.
All right. Well, thank you, Joanne. That's very important, very informative stuff. If you have any questions about these things, please don't hesitate. We can certainly help you through it through her support. Okay. Now we're going to talk about, I want to talk about unit sales, installed options, and the communication between your unit sales department and the service department. We often get a lot of calls about this too, where there's dealerships having problems with installed options. What this causes is obviously causes delays in delivery times, right? We see that it causes delays in delivery times. It also creates lost opportunities when it comes to things not being installed on time or anything like that. So it's very important that there's a process, and I highly recommend, and I've been very it's caught me off guard to see how many dealerships don't have like a written process of how the two departments talk, like how to hand off the information from one department to the next, and have the back and forth that is necessary. So really, the big recommendation that we have here is to really sit down the management side of things and make sure that this process is written. Because granted, there is some turnover too, so it's really nice to have it in writing, so that way it's a refresher for any new staff coming in. So that's a huge one. We've also created something that might help you in the service department. Is we created the ability to sell job codes on deals. This is very important because now for custom, like for standard installed options, we can certainly set up job codes that make it a lot easier. Instead of having to write down all the list of parts and labor, we can now just go on a unit deal and create a list of all these job codes for units to sell, and make it easier to search, and then they can add it themselves. So I'm going to walk you through that in a minute. So we'll actually go into it. So if I was going to a unit deal, I just want to show you guys how it looks on a unit sale. so that way you can kind of see the view. So I'm going to go into this one right here. I've already created one on this one because I was playing with this earlier, but I think it'll be easy to show. So salespeople, when they go in to add parts and labor for installed options, they're doing that typically under the proposed option tab. So they would come in here and they would click on this add labor, add parts, and you see a listing of labor and parts. Well, now the new feature is very straightforward, and it's just to click this little job code. So if you click on job code and you type in the job code number, or you can even type description. So we're seeing dealers now using this, and they're putting in descriptions that make sense. So they might make it by model family, like a naming convention that has like the name of the model and then what they're installing. So if it's something like saddlebags, we can have it by model family or something like that. So it makes it easier to build and easier to search for your salespeople. But if I were to hit enter, I now have the similar thing that we see in service. We have the job code itself, and we can always click on it to review the parts and labor that are added. So this is a quick way to review, and then we can click OK, and it adds itself to the service order. The benefit for you guys in service as well is that the concern cause correction transfer over from the job code cell. So when we create the internal service order for the installed options, you don't have to do any of this. It's already done. So it makes it easier on you from that perspective. It makes it easier on you as well for communication on standard standard options that are installed. So it's a very quick way to help solve a little bit of these problems when it comes to discussions and things that happen between service and unit sales. Awesome. I'm going to close this out, and then we're going to go into the next topic. So I want to talk also about menu selling. A lot of you guys are doing menu selling, and you guys are doing it through the job codes. Some of you are not, but I want to kind of talk about that quick and say the benefits of why job codes should be used in the menu selling thing. So using job codes to menu sell helps standardize the workflow for commonly sold services. So you're thinking maintenances. If you do it right now manually, where you're entering parts and labor and all that stuff onto a service order every time, well, using a job code might be an advantage here because it makes it standardized and it looks the same for every service order that comes out. It provides a better customer experience. Why? Because their invoices look nicer and it's quicker, right? Because you have to just one type job code instead. So what we found is a lot of you guys, when you were building these job codes, you found it very cumbersome to recreate them. So especially in the Harley world, where there's many little things like there's maybe a small part to change on it, but the job code, the service is essentially the same. Well, we kind of listened to that, and we built a new feature in DealerVu that allows you to clone job codes. So now it makes it even easier to build out more of these things, especially if you have like standard services and stuff like that. So I want to show you quickly how that works. So I'm going to go back into DealerVu. I'm going to go into System Settings, Miscellaneous Settings, and I'm going to go into my Job Code tab. So here, I can simply go search for my job code or build one out. So you're building out a job code, and you can go into the details. So to clone is just a simple button of clicking on here, clone, and it's going to make you an exact copy of the job code you have behind it with the same concern cause correction, the same pricing, everything. But now you have the liberty, you can change it to, you can change parts on it. You can add labor, you can add some further descriptions if it needs be. So it gives you a way to make a modifiable version of the job code that you had prior. So it's a very powerful tool. So now making it easier for you to build those menus up for your services. Okay. Just going to minimize this. I'm sorry, that takes a minute, but I want to do that, make sure it's clean. So the power of the job code is that it's to make it a standardized experience for all your customers, and they see it the same way on their bills, on the bill of sales or in invoices. Now the big one. The big one I want to talk about today is the signature pad, the pictures, and the attachments. There's some major advantages to that. So after speaking with you guys a lot, we're noticing that a lot of you, are keeping PDF versions of things all over the place and nothing centralized. So we heard that, and we built out in DealerVu we built out some places for you to help that. So that's kind of centralized to the actual. It could be centralized in DealerVu. So we have the capability of adding attachments to service, to parts, to unit sales, and on a customer record itself. And Mike G is going to show you that in a demo in a minute here. But we wanted to make sure that these are there because now it makes it a little bit more efficient for you guys, especially if there's many people accessing records at any given time. So we really highly encourage you guys to start using these and figuring out ways that this can be used for you. So with that, Mike G, I'm going to ask you if you can just demo the signature pad for us, please.
Sure. Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is the Topaz signature pad that is used and required in DealerVu. Dan will send you at the end of the webinar a link to this document where you can find the model number and also download the drivers. So enough about the pad. Let me show you how it works in DealerVu. So in DealerVu, the signature pad works in parts. You're going to wonder why you want to have a signature in parts. Well, if there's electronic parts or a customer buys illegal exhaust system, you can have them sign the invoice, and you save that in the invoice and in the customer's card. It's also used in service department and also used in the unit sales department. In the unit sales, a bit different. It's the offer to purchase. The sales rep can sign and the customer can sign also. So let me show you how this works. So in a service order, you click on File and e-signature. So the e-signature pulls up a PDF file, not the actual service order that you see here. It pulls up a PDF file. So once you're in the PDF file, you have some icons up here. You have the print, the save, the signature, email. So you click on signature. Once you click on the signature, you hand over the pad to the customer. He signs. You click OK. Then in the PDF file, you see the customer's signature. At this point, you can save. Well, you should save. You can email to the customer directly from the signature. The email has been sent. And if you close this, you're going to see at the end here, you have a tab called Attachments. You have the signature. You can actually change the name of the, because I double click, I opened it, sorry about that. You can change the name, the title of the document, and you have the timestamp also, that the date that it was signed. In here, you can also assign another signature to another job, also same principle. You can also add pictures. So if you go into job 1, you can add an image, delete an image, rotate left, rotate right, and job 1 has an image. If you want to add, you right click and you add a picture. Now in job 2, you can have other pictures that are independent from job 1. So if I remove this one, I just used it twice, sorry about that. So if you go in this one here, you will see the image of job 1, and job 2 does not have images anymore if you go on the job 2 tab. You can also, in the system, add another signature. For example, the customer comes back, you add work, customer comes in, oops, you must save, sorry. So the customer comes in, the next day, wants another signature, you ask for the customer to sign again, he signs again, and you're going to have a second document into your work order. So you have a second document here. Timestamp is the same because we did it twice. You can also add a document. So sometimes we sell a reverse kit, and it comes with the PDF instructions and so on and so forth. And you have it in paper, but you want to keep that, but you don't want to keep a paper version. You go on the portal where you bought that reverse kit. You can download the PDF. So you come here, PDF. You select a PDF, open, and it's going to be, whoops, file's too large. I took a wrong one. But you can add a PDF into your document and save it. So let's say I'll try to find a small one. These are all biggies. Maybe that one's too small, too large. No, that one's okay. So you can name it, put a name on it, and then you save it. You can download that PDF. You can open the PDF. You can delete the PDF. Now, one thing to remember is that these documents not only attach to the work order, but it's also attached to the customer's card. So if you open the customer's card, he comes in 3 years later and he has that reverse kit and he needs parts or he wants to change it or fix it. You can go in attachments and you're going to find that PDF somewhere in here. If you gave it a name, you can easily find that file that's attached to the customer's card. So these stay forever. So the historical data is in the customer card, invoice, service order, or into the sales, the unit sales. And I have to say that you need to buy the signature pad, but it's a free feature that's inside DealerVu. So the only thing you need to do is you buy the pad, install the driver that we provided the link, and it will work right away. Signature, and that's it. So that covers pretty much the signature pad feature. So back to you, Dan.
Thank you very much. I was just talking there. So that concludes the training for today. I would like to thank everybody for coming. But before you guys go, we were going to be sending an email out with the link to the webinar, all the supporting document for all the things we talked about today, and also a survey. I really highly encourage you guys to send out the survey, so that way we can continue these webinars with topics that are relevant to you guys. Because these are first round. We plan on continuously doing this. So any feedback would be really appreciated. And at this moment, I thank you guys for your time.